may be a small delay while we adjust the microphone, but in the meantime I wanted to tell you something about our next poet, Frances White. Second time she's been at Dodo. I've already mentioned I've known Frances for a long time. She's appearing at the Torbay Poetry Festival in October. It's her second appearance there. She's on the last day there. She's very active in two writing groups, the Merton Poets, a 21-year-old established poetry group in the Wimbledon area, another group called Words Poetry. So I'd like you to give a big Dodo Modern Poets welcome for the return of Frances. Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, it's good to be back, and thank you to Patrick and to all of you for coming. The last time I was with the Dodos it was the Christmas Cracker show, so it's great to return with some spring poems, and I'm going to start at the end of March when the clocks go forward and spring begins, and the title of my first poem is The Green Man. This is the day we've waited for, the day the hour goes forward and light returns, rolling in on a green tide as we play with time and cheat the clocks. This is the day when the green man comes from the dark wood, bearing a bonus of light across the fields, and kindles the ground with flickers of wheat. Hear him breathe tendril and leaf, striding towards us with arms outstretched, scattering spells and filling our land with laughter and song. See him shine through the greening world. Wasteland quivers with shoot and blade. Earth is pregnant with meadow flowers. His time has come. This is the day we forfeit an hour, and the green man comes. This is the day we've waited for. And at a time when the weather can be dull and cold, daffodils are bright, brave little flowers, and I'd use the same words to describe our friend Aromi Thomas, and remember her in this little poem called Daffodils, I Suppose. As you didn't value things, I can't remember you with keepsakes or mementos, but when pressed to name your favourite flowers, you thought and said, daffodils, I suppose. So now I'm glad I asked. I approve of those. Sometimes we're so busy that spring can pass almost unnoticed, and the next poem is about a man I saw on Richmond Green who made me slow down and think. It's called Red Hat Band. Dashing to work, taking a short cut over the green, birdsong puts spring in my step. A man catches my eye, cream trousers and Panama with a red band. He stops, near the listed buildings, domed theatre, Georgian terraces, magnolia-filled gardens, then leans on his stick to catch breath. Nearer now, his face pales, no smile for me as he struggles to make progress on home ground, the morning stroll taxing his strength. I think of my father in his final months, wearing a checked cap for protection from the sun. This bright day, the man with the red hat band gives me pause. I'll stop rushing quite so fast to meet my deadlines. Well, as we've seen this year, spring weather isn't always pleasant, and when it's cold and wet, dog walkers are among the few people who venture out in the towns, like the girl in my next poem, which is called Square Park. Above the square park, tower blocks and window blinds obscure her view. In the morning rain, her dog pulls his lead, heading for the new saplings. She follows his path through the flower beds, searching for broken tulips. No one can see how their redness makes her heart dance. each velvet petal smuggled in pockets through the iron perimeter, back to the grey flat. Fiery butterflies spread out on her windowsill above the square park. May's a beautiful month, but it's also a sad one for me. A long time ago, after a mismanaged hospital delivery, one of my babies was stillborn. And although this poem won a competition, I rarely read it in public, but tonight it's so near the anniversary, it feels right, so I'm going to read Lullaby. They told me I must say goodbye. His birth was long and I was torn, but I still sing his lullaby. He did not breathe, he did not cry. I held him close to keep him warm. They told me I must say goodbye. Above white masks they glanced awry. In vain I breathed into his form, but still I sang him lullaby. They gave no answer to my why. The guilt was theirs who would not mourn, and told me I must say goodbye. You must forgive, they seemed to sigh. My heart was with the hushed newborn I rocked in tender lullaby. Now every May, when swallows fly, white blossoms spread among the thorn. They told me I must say goodbye, but I still sing his lullaby. There are many facets to sorrow, and comfort often comes in ways we don't anticipate, and in this case the placebo is a particular pink stone. Rose quartz. You hold out a bowl of stones, saying, take one, and I choose. Strange how a cold stone feels so soft, looks so gentle as rose quartz. Stranger still that a solid stone filters light, reveals complex veins, radiates life. How can this stone so small in my hand bring warmth and comfort? Soft as feather down, soothing as honey, quiet as cherry blossom, light as a baby's breath. Bereavement makes you feel as if you'll never be happy again, but eventually there's a shift, and I'll close this set with a short poem called Promenade. As we walk out, my feet don't touch the ground. With one arm you can lift me to the sky, wave me like a flag flying kite high, swing me round and out light as a lasso, and catch the giddy air and bring it back to the warm heart of you.
Very nicely judged, a moving set from Francis. More applause please for Francis White. And now, the next poet is a man who publishes, I think, one of the best poetry magazines around, called South Bank Poetry, which some of you have seen on sale here. One or two of you may even be published in.